Hello, I'm Leroy, and on this episode of Around My House, we're going to make homemade vegetarian pizza. So we got all our ingredients here. We got some flour in here. We got a little sugar. We got our yeast, a little salt, vegetable oil, so we can make our dough. Then we're going to go with some vegetarian toppings. We're going to use some Worthington Saucettes. We're going to put on some mushrooms, some olives, onions, and I'm using, for the sauce, I'm using Essential Everyday mushroom pasta sauce, and we have some mild cheddar to go on it. So that's what we're going to use. We got our pan here. I'm using kind of a rectangular pan. I'll have the recipe and the directions coming up here on the screen. So, let's get started. Alright, so here we got the ingredients to make the dough. So we're going to need a cup of hot water. So I'm going to put that in there. We need a spoonful of sugar. I like a little extra sugar. Okay. We need some yeast. So here's our yeast. I like to kind of spread it out. There's water. And we need some salt. Alright. And we'll put just a touch of oil in there. I like to kind of pre-mix the ingredients a little bit, get them dissolving. Put oil in. Okay. We'll just take and get that all mixed up. Let's see. Okay. So that's okay. So now we want 2.5 cups of flour. So I'm using a 1/2 cup scooper here. So we got 1. So that's 5 1/2 cups. So that's 2.5 cups. Alright, let's just put the lid back on the stuff. And we now want to mix it. So maybe you have a mixer, that would probably be the easier way. I'm just mixing it by hand. So here we got everything all mixed up. So now what we want to do is put a lid on it, and we're going to let it sit for a while. Ideally, maybe put it in a warm place. Some people let it sit for quite a few hours. We're gonna do about an hour or so, and then we'll when we come back, we'll continue with the pizza. So while we're waiting on the dough to rise, we're gonna work on the ingredients a little. So I'm sure everyone has their own onion cutting technique. So what I do is I cut it in quarters. But you can of course cut it any way you like. I do that and I cut it this way. So we're going to cut the onions and put all these other ingredients in there, and you can of course do whichever ingredients you want. Alright, it's been about an hour since I made mixed the dough, and as you can see it's risen. Still has a little bit more to go. So we're going to go ahead and do a little cooking on this. So here we have, as you recall, we had the onions. So I just like to cut them up a little bit more. And also we got the saucettes here, and we're going to need to cut them. So what I do to cut the saucettes is I get the spatula here and just go like that. So I do a little onion cutting and sausette cutting, and then we'll get this simmering for a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to mix them. And we're going to turn on the fire. Alright, so we're going to let that simmer for a few minutes, and then when the dough is ready here, continuing to rise, we'll continue. Alright, so our dough has risen, and so what we're going to do here is get it spread out in the pan. So we're going to take and oil our pan. So now what we're going to do is spread some of this stuff out. The mushroom sauce. And now for the toppings. Okay, so now we're going to spread the toppings around. Alright, so next is the cheese. Alright, so now we spread the cheese around. Alright, so now we're going to put it in the oven, and you're going to want your mitts. You should have been preheating the oven to 350 degrees. Oops, let's just make sure it's in there. And now about 50 minutes later, it should be cooked. Alright, now the pizza's ready. We're going to take her out. So then we'll use one of these to slice her up. And there we go. I hope you enjoy the pizza as much as I do. Thanks, and see you next time.